Great. Oh. Welcome to Kits and Wagers. I am Adam Zdroik, joined with Chris Owen. We are both writers at RotoWire. Chris, how you doing? And again, I can see you have a Liverpool jersey on, so tell us about the jersey.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just getting ready for the weekend here. I've gotten absolutely no plans, so I'm just gonna consume a lot of soccer and a lot of probably National Football League later. My kid here is I think it's from 2 seasons ago. Virgil van Dijk. Just one of those you get at the end of the season that are on sale, and I think it's right after they won the Champions League. Obviously, Verge played a big role, so I couldn't say no to it. And now it's in the rotation, that's for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Now that he's healthy again, hopefully that's not a jinx. Hopefully, I don't know if that's the first time you've worn that. And
I've been wearing it in my men's league the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
We're white, so it actually plays well. And I haven't personally gotten injured, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But
well, that's good.
And Verge
that's
is
good to hear.
he's coming along nicely. So hopefully no jinx, and hopefully, especially now that you mentioned it, no jinx. What do you got going on for your kit?
I got Vodafone, Manchester United. So I don't know what year. This is probably early 2000s, early, I don't know, 2002, maybe 2004. It's pretty old. I don't know. My dad got it when he was traveling for work in Europe back in the day. And, it's just hung around in my closet, and I pull it out once in a while here and there. And I'm not a Manchester United fan, I'll say that, but, whatever. I mean, it's a cool old Vodafone jersey. So
yeah, the Vodafone kit is like very like David Becks maybe wore that, like Cristiano in his very early days with Manchester. But yeah,
I feel like they had it for a few years. I want to say Berbatov, but Berbatov was probably after that. But
yeah, I think Burbs was maybe slightly after. I just remember starting to watch the Premier League around then and being like, oh, I want that. That was right in the middle of like, who are you going to support? Liverpool or Manchester United, all these players, I just like players at the time, and they had that kit. So that's a pretty OG kit.
Yeah. All right. So let's recap here. So game week 5, we actually both came away victorious. Chris had Watford to win at plus 240 on the road. I took Aston Villa and Everton over 2.5. I luckily hit that one. Villa won 3-0. So yeah, just taking a look at what happened. I know you wanted to touch on just over-unders for a little bit. They've kind of been a little harder to project. I know we were talking about the under on the Spurs-Chelsea last week, and then Chelsea, they got I believe it was stoppage time. They got that third goal in stoppage time. But yeah, it's been kind of hit or miss in terms of, what goals actually have matches and what matches don't have goals.
Yeah, I think my process was okay when I look back on trying to think about some of those over under bets. We had Leeds Newcastle. I discussed looking at some of the overs last week, and those two teams had combined to they were bottom of the table in terms of goals conceded. They ended up that was at 1-1, I believe, and then I discussed Tottenham Chelsea and thinking about betting the under 1.5, under 2.5, and that match obviously ended up in a little bit of a bloodbath where Chelsea won 3-0. So the unders and overs have been pretty volatile and tough to predict. So I think this week when we get into more of our best bets, I may steer away from there just due to the lack of success recently.
Yeah, just I guess one thing I wanted to touch on, we got midweek matches, we got a bunch of cup matches, and probably throughout the show we'll probably have to mention, what happened in some of those games. There's definitely some injuries that occurred, but as we saw last week, just weird things can happen. For Everton, I was saying I got lucky with that over bet because it wasn't known until Saturday morning that Richarlison, Seamus Coleman, and Pickford were all out, and apparently they're out for 2 to 3 weeks now. So, I mean, I didn't like the over 2.5 goals as much, and Villa kind of helped that one for me and got the 3 themselves. But just stuff like that is kind of, if you're looking at a game that you don't think the odds are going to change, maybe just wait until these lineups come out, because just even with COVID and everything, it's just kind of hard to know like the exact starting 11s that are coming out. And obviously starting 11s are, the most important thing when betting, because, if the best guys aren't playing, then that's going to change a few things. So
that's a little bit like Jack Harrison missing out Friday. I think that came out minutes before kickoff, and I had him somewhere in like FPL or Fantrax or something like that. And I mean, Jack Harrison's a quality player, but it's like, that could play a big role in what happens in that match. But exactly right. It's so much unpredictability with it. And, especially if you feel confident. And luckily the Everton over hit. So, kudos to you.
Yeah, I'll say it was a little lucky. We'll leave it at that.
We all
so yeah, just looking at game week 6 here. If you're watching on YouTube, we got the screen pulled up. We got a weird schedule here. Saturday, the 2 early matches at the same time, which doesn't happen often already. And then you got Chelsea hosting Manchester United hosting Aston Villa. A couple interesting things there. So what do you want to look at here first off?
Yeah. First of all, it's weird they put Manchester City Chelsea at that 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 a.m. for those of us out here in Seattle. So that's probably only going to get up for the second half, if at all. And then Manchester Aston Villa is another big one too, and that's also the early match. I feel like they could have swapped Liverpool Brentford in that time slot, but that's just a qualm I have. A couple considerations, I think, is let me just take a look at the old notes here. I actually kind of steered away from those first 2 games, but Chelsea is actually my best bet, and I can get into that shortly here.
Spoiled.
But the truth comes out. Chelsea's my best bet. So I guess I'm gonna hop into a couple of other considerations first before I kind of outline that. But yeah, so there's a couple things that I kind of liked, but I don't have enough confidence in to call it my best bet quite yet. But Norwich is plus 285 draw, and plus 550 to win. I know we saw that they haven't won a Premier League, or they've literally lost the last 15 matches in the Premier League. So something to consider, but they are playing Everton. And as you mentioned, Everton are going to be without some really key players, and specifically some of their key attackers like Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and then Seamus Coleman and a couple other people. So it's like, if there's any time to think about Norwich, it's this weekend. And plus 285 to draw, those are great odds. And then even plus 550 to win, a little bit more daunting because of their recent track record of losing 15 straight matches. So
yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, not at all.
Not a good record. No. It's something I wrote about. I've got an article at rotowire.com. I did write about it. I like it. Just again, talking about the midweek matches, like I think Everton actually played more first team players than Norwich did in their loss to Liverpool. Like Everton, Townsend, I know, went a full 90. Lucas Digne, he actually got hurt. So that's also something to keep an eye out for. So even though Everton are the bigger team and, they've been playing better, these injuries are definitely coming up for them. And I think Norwich actually may have I was going to say it may have a slight advantage. I'm not going to go that far, but I do definitely like them. Even if you took them at, I think plus 1 goal, you can actually get around even odds. So even if they lost by 1 goal, you're still walking away with your money back. So it's
and noteworthy, Everton actually lost that game too. They played a
Oh
lot of
yeah, and
first teamers. They
PKs.
lost
Yeah, they lost to
QPR.
QPR. Yeah,
Yeah. Kind of moving along here. I talked about how difficult it was last week with the over-unders, but Leeds West Ham is minus 160 on over 2.5 goals, which is not too bad. Could bring back a little bit. And then over 3.5 goals, which less confident in, is plus 150. But specifically,
I'll step in here. Patrick Bamford was declared out this morning, so that
oh,
changes your thoughts on anything.
I did not see that. It definitely switches it up a little bit, but both teams have scored a ton of goals, and just keep it in mind. And then even more so now than I guess I saw last night. It was West Ham plus 140.
It's
Leeds have
definitely
not.
moved. Yeah,
Leeds have not been good. And they're winless in the last 5 matches. West Ham are undefeated in their last 5 away matches in the Premier League. And so if you don't like the plus 140 and I don't know if we've got it up right now, but I saw plus 375 for a draw. So something to consider there. I'm just going to pull up and see if we can get those updated odds real quick. I got Leeds at it's still West Ham plus 140, and then the draw is plus 280.
yeah.
So the odds
I think the numbers have changed since that Bamford news came out. I think West Ham maybe opened plus 145 to win, so they've definitely gone down.
Okay.
It's also something I'm be looking at in my best bet. So we'll dive into my reasons on that a little later.
Cool. So and then another one that's interesting is the London Derby, which is Tottenham Arsenal. That's happening, I believe, Sunday. I like Tottenham to win that plus 215. They are just as I've maybe gone a little bit hard on Arsenal here over the past to begin the season, but Tottenham's just a better side right now. Arsenal are playing better. I like Nuno's ability to organize Tottenham against Arsenal. So that's one thing that I'd consider, and I like that at plus 215. And then one other consideration before I get to my best bet, and I kind of found these as I was tinkering around last night, but Mohamed Salah. You can get Mohamed Salah odds plus 130 to score and Liverpool wins. So that means Liverpool beats Brentford and Mohamed Salah scores at plus 130. Salah has scored in 4 of 5 Premier League matches and 1 of their Champions League matches. He's been, really good, and didn't play in the midweek, which was always a good sign for guys who are going to have to probably play Saturday and then in the Champions League on Tuesday. So you can get that at plus 130. Again, that's Salah to score and Liverpool to win. And then another similar bet that's related to that is Salah to score with his left foot. And that's at plus 120. Mo Salah scores with his left foot most of the time. I would love to pull up the numbers on that, but I got to believe it's like 75% of the time. And then
I'd go that high. One thing I guess just looking at, we were talking before the show. So we noticed, it's always been something I saw that I just never pointed out, but it's just, even with the bet you're talking about at DraftKings, they provided the parlay for you. They provided Liverpool to win and Salah to score, and they gave that out for plus 130. So if you went in and did the actual the single game parlay yourself, combine the Liverpool at minus 210 to win with Salah to score at plus 100, it comes out at plus 115. So it's just something to consider when you're betting these things online, and for all these sports books that they haven't had betting for like very long. Like it's not DraftKings and FanDuel, and I mean wherever you're putting money down, they really haven't had soccer betting for all that long in the States here, if that's where you're watching from. So the odds are going to be, you're going to find advantages here and there. Another thing I mentioned in my article, so you can also get different odds so if you want to bet win or draw or draw no bet. So win or draw is plus half a goal, and then draw no bet is considered a pick 'em. It just looks like a PK. So instead of actually taking, when it says double chance or taking win or taking draw no bet, you can get better odds from what I've seen at the places I've been using. just to bet plus half a goal or pick them. It's just something that it seems like a flaw in the sports books, but it's definitely something you can benefit from. So just a little tidbit there for anyone looking to get, a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, it's a really good shout, especially when you're considering, it could be plus 130 or plus 115, a little extra money in your pocket if you're making the same bet, just to be smart and strategic about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's hear it. What do you got?
Best bet this weekend is Chelsea plus 165 to win. This is the marquee match of the weekend, and as we mentioned, it's the early matches for us here in the U.S. But Chelsea, they're playing at home. They've won their last 3 at Stamford Bridge. And as we've seen over the last probably like last 6 months or so, they've really got City's number. They've beaten them in 3 straight matches across all competitions, including the Champions League final. City are dealing with a number of defensive injuries. Laporte is questionable. Stones is questionable. And they're out now. Okay.
Yeah, they're out.
Okay. Yeah. So, Nathan Ake is going to get another start alongside is it Diaz? I would assume.
Ruben Diaz, yep.
And then Zinchenko, I didn't see if he was out or not, but he's dealing with some injuries too. And, Benjamin Mendy is dealing with an unrelated injury, but situation nonetheless. So they could be a little thin at left back. And, Chelsea have looked, just so good to start the season. They're so organized offensively. And they just are coming off that win last week so I just think that Chelsea can get it done here. They're playing at home. They've been able to really take it to City over the last few matches, and I just like them at plus 165 to win.
Yeah, looking at the handy RotoWire sports betting page, you can get Chelsea to win at plus 175 at BetMGM. So there you go. Get a few more bucks there for the straight money line bet. But yeah, no, I wrote about taking Chelsea in my article. I personally took the pick 'em, but I mean, yeah, that's just a little safer, I guess you could say. Otherwise, it only makes sense. Like, they've won the past 3 matchups between these teams. The big thing I think for Manchester City is that so Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden, they both went full 90s midweek. And what we're guessing at RotoWire is that De Bruyne is not going to start. He's been dealing with this ankle injury for pretty much since the Euros, and he really hasn't been 100%. And you're not to get someone back to 100% from a constant ankle injury. You're not going to give a guy 2 starts in the matter of 4 days. So I think obviously Manchester City have been playing well without De Bruyne, but they're going to be starting. I guess Rodrigo, he also is questionable with an issue of his own, but we're looking at Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and Rodri in the midfield there for Manchester City. But definitely the odds don't really make sense, though.
Yeah.
I think overall, just Manchester City just gets more love than other teams for some reason. It was numerous times last season I took the opposing team against Manchester City just because for some reason Manchester City was just assumed to be, hands down best team every matchup. But I think one of the main reasons they've been so good these last few years is they always beat up on the terrible teams. They don't, for the most part, they don't lose points to terrible teams. But when you got other teams like Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, these other teams who are, better at the top of their game right now, it kind of doesn't make sense to see even odds when Chelsea are playing at home.
Right. So, sidebar, my FPL team would love to see Kevin De Bruyne get back in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are waiting for it to happen, but Manchester City's upcoming schedule. Let me just run through it quickly here. So they got this game. They're at Chelsea, they're at PSG, and then they're at Liverpool. So they're not going to be starting all their top guys all of these matches. Pep Guardiola, he kind of doesn't really care about who they play. He's gonna be rotating. It's called Pep Roulette for a reason. And you combine that with they have 2 healthy center backs, and like you said, they're down to more or less 2 healthy fullbacks. They got João Cancelo and Kyle Walker. Sure, they got tons of guys up front and everything, but I think the lack of depth is a concern. They got the high end guys, and then they got 18-year-olds playing, and sure, the 18-year-olds are good, but at some point, that's not going to be enough.
And I mean, you're right. Like their attacking depth is insane. But when you're and if they were coming up against a team like Norwich City in one of those 3 matches, we would be discussing this differently. But they're coming up against Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, like three of the best teams in Europe right now. So it's like, that's where your depth is tested and where the quality of those backups is tested. So it's not like we think that City don't have that like, good players, one through, starting and then one behind them.
Right.
It's just that they're playing some really quality teams.
Yeah, I think Nathan Ake could have some trouble with Lukaku here. I know Diaz is probably going to be the guy to mark up Lukaku on Saturday, but Nathan Ake, former Bournemouth player, I don't know if he's going to be ready for these next few games. He's really barely played in the past year since joining City. So
yeah,
but all right, so we got my match here. We discussed it earlier. So West Ham, they're currently plus 130 to win at Leeds. And so I'm taking the safe route. The problem is that the odds, I looked at the odds a couple of days ago and I wrote my article. They've gotten worse. So West Ham are a bigger favorite than they were. So Leeds, they have some issues on their back line. And that's kind of the main thing. They've already struggled all season, basically, to defending anyone. So midweek, I believe Calvin Phillips played center back, which is pretty relevant and then Jamie Shackleton moved into the 11. He played defensive midfield in Calvin Phillips' usual position. And, if that happens again, I'm just not confident in what Leeds is going to look at. So West Ham won both these matchups last season. But the main injury you're looking out for is Luke Ayling. He wasn't mentioned in Bielsa's press conference today. So the thought is that he will be ready and good to go. But even then, these guys have struggled against everyone they played this year. And then West Ham, they're playing well. So Antonio, he was recently suspended, but they arrested him last midweek, yesterday, I believe, or Tuesday. He was arrested. So Antonio, their best scorer, he's going to be 100% ready to go. He's going to be rested. And going against that back line, I just like West Ham too much to take in this spot here. I definitely put something on West Ham to win on the money line there. But getting back to my best bet here. So because of the reduced odds, so West Ham pick them, that's minus 125. I'm going to combine that with Manchester United plus half a goal at minus 900, and then that's going to be brought down to plus 100. So this is definitely a rookie bet. I'm not trying to escape that, but you're getting better odds, and I don't think Manchester United are going to lose that match. The only way that bet doesn't hit Manchester United half a goal is if they actually lose to Aston Villa. I don't think they're going to lose Aston Villa. They're home. They got Ronaldo. Villa they're playing okay. I'm not going to go crazy about them or anything. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get the better odds than the minus 125 with West Ham. So I'm going to put that little piece in there like a rookie and then bring that to plus 100.
Nice. I like it. Anytime you take England's like pivot for their tournament run and put them at center back, aka Calvin Phillips, it makes you feel a little less confident what's going on. And we've seen that in a few different places. Fabinho at Liverpool, who is normally the anchor of their back line, forced to play center back. Well, obviously they're not going to be quite as good when they're missing the guy who moves the ball from defense to forward. So I like where your head's at with that one.
Yeah, if again, this is also something that depends on when the starting 11 comes out. Like if Calvin Phillips actually has to play center back and Luke Ayling is out, like I'd definitely be all over West Ham. But again, those odds would probably be at plus 120 at that point, even lower, because he got Bamford out, so that's definitely going to push the odds. But yeah. So what do we got? Game week 6. Any more thoughts before we head into the weekend here?
Not really. I mean, Aileen, again on that, Aileen played 38 matches for them last season. So without him, that's a big miss. But yeah, final thoughts is I am excited to do nothing, probably watch a boatload of soccer, watch a boatload of NFL. Maybe, get into some pops and smoke some chicken or something like that. So it's going to be a big chill weekend for me watching sports.
Sounds like a great time. I forgot to mention your patented weekly fade Arsenal play. You got Tottenham in there. I just want to say I don't agree with that play.
You like Arsenal?
I don't want to say I like Arsenal, but Tottenham aren't exactly playing that well at the moment. They were up 2-0 on Wolverhampton midweek and then gave up 2 goals, and they still made it out in PKs, but I still think they have some overall issues. I know they're getting healthier with Kane and Son both back, but I still think they're figuring out their back line right now. Even with that nice run to begin this season, I think it's just going to be an ugly match, really. These Arsenal's last few games, they've kind of been, trying to get these 1-0 wins, and they had the free win midweek, but I think it'll be, if anything, I might look at the under in that one, try and aim with like a 1-0 win to either side kind of thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I definitely think Arsenal. I don't know. I just said I definitely think, but I don't want to say I definitely think, but I think Arsenal have the edge just playing at home in this one.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, it's been fun to definitely think about football this weekend, and looking forward to. Hopefully, we get back on a heater here, and we're 2 for 2 this weekend, and we come back next week and we're discussing our success.
2 for 2 for sure. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. You can find us on the RotoWire Soccer YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like the podcast wherever you listen, and everyone get hopefully those bets end well, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, y'all.